What's going on, guys? It's your boy Moto MMA here, aka Jason Boss, bringing you another video. Alright guys, if you could please continue to comment, like, subscribe. I certainly appreciate it. I do believe I'm like 27 subscribers from hitting my 200 goal mark for this year, and I would really appreciate it, guys. So continue to just get this video out and keep showing me the love, guys. Thank you so very much. Now on to the main topic. Sitting out by the pool, thought I changed scenery, by the way. Got tired of the backdrop or whatever in my little room or whatever. But Jake Paul versus Ben Askren, what are their different keys to victory? Now, I'm going to start off first with Jake Paul. First off, guys, Jake Paul isn't in bad shape, okay? Let's just put it out there. Jake Paul has actually been running miles. From what I hear, he runs between 6 to 7 miles on a daily basis. He's been doing a lot of sparring time. He has really been working hard. Like it's evident that even though, yes, we can say Jake Paul might be, an amateur boxer or whatever, he is an amateur boxer that is putting forth effort. He's an amateur boxer that is doing the things that people would do to become pro. He's not just training with his brother or just training with friends. He's legitimately training every single day, working on his boxing skills. Whether we call this a gimmick or not, Jake Paul is putting forth legitimate effort to make this gimmick work, you know what I mean? And I don't know if he ever will aspire to, like I say, become the champion of the world or whatever, but if it is to be able to beat the majority of the people that he puts in front of him, you know what I mean, as far as entertainers or athletes of other sports, he definitely has the key to victory to that. Now, what Jake's going to want to do, since Jake is the actual, I would like to say, better boxer. I'm going to be honest with you. Ben Askren is not a boxer. Ben Askren is a wrestler. And even though Ben Askren has had a lot of combat time, I do believe most of Ben Askren's combat time, yes, he has worked on striking. He has. But he looked like he emphasized more on the wrestling part on it. The clinch, getting close so he can take his opponent down. Doesn't look like he put a whole lot of emphasis on his striking. So Jake Paul's the better boxer. What he's going to have to do is box with Ben Askren. Jake Paul has pretty good ability as far as like moving, and he has a reach. He's going to have to get that jab and stick it out there in Ben Askren's face. You know what I mean? Because Ben Askren does seem to have improved in his boxing skills, but it does look like Ben wants to close the distance from what I've seen in some of Ben Askren's training videos. So if you got a guy that's trying to get out there, you can use that long jab. You can also step off a lot and hit him with that big right. Now, Jake Paul does not need to go for the knockout. I'm not saying he will not knock out Ben Askren, but if you're the better boxer, outbox Ben Askren. That looks great in the judge's eyes. You're going to score a lot of points. You're actually going to begin wearing the person down. And then ultimately, you might actually get the knockout. But if you do not get the knockout, oh well. I'll score him. I'll box him. Beat him. Jake Paul definitely seems to have the ability to outbox Ben Askren. I am thinking, honestly, earlier on in the fight, I could be wrong, but I'm thinking earlier on in the fight, it's going to look a lot towards Jake Paul's way because he'll be fresh, and he does seem to have some good boxing skills. So I'm going to say Jake Paul needs to use his reach, and he needs to use his boxing abilities. Do not make this into a brawl. Do not let pride get in your way. Use your skills that you have developed because you've been training or practicing for how many years? I think they say Jake Paul's been training for roughly about 2 to 3 years. And you just focus on just boxing. Use that to your advantage. You are the overall better boxer. Now, what is Ben Askren's key to victory? Ben Askren is tough. He is very tough. He's actually been in a whole lot more fights than Jake Paul, and he's been in fights with people that have been trying to hurt him. So Ben Askren has the mental fortitude, the mental game that he can actually use to his advantage. A lot of stone faces, guys. If you've never hit anyone, or if you've hit someone and they look straight at you like you didn't phase them and they keep coming, it does something to you. Sometimes that wrecks your soul, like, whoa, you know what I mean? I hit this guy and he doesn't seem to be moved. Did I hit him hard? Did I give him enough? It'll make the person say, well, okay, screw it. I'm going to swing even harder. which could cause them to get tired and, you know, become fatigued. So Ben Askren's going to definitely have to use that poker face. He's also going to want to get inside. Looking at Ben Askren's boxing skills now that they've changed, they're still very awkward, guys. He likes to really throw a punches like almost more sideways, it looks like, but he's always like he's trying to get close. So stick with that. I think that's a great plan. You're trying to stop a guy who's a boxer. You're trying to stop a guy who's got the longer sword reach, you know what I mean? So you want to get it inside of that sword. You want to get in the inside of that reach. It's just like with a baseball bat. Guys, if you try to swing a bat at me, I'm on the outside of the bat, I'm going to get more impact. I'm going to get hurt a lot more than what if I am on the inside of that bat and I stifle some of your swing. So that is what Ben Askren wants to do. He wants to try from the get-go to outpace Jake Paul. Even if Jake Paul outscores him in the first couple of rounds, he wants those couple of rounds to be where Jake Paul had to work. At the end of the first 2 and 3 rounds, Jake Paul should be tired from hitting Ben Askren, tired from trying to get him off him, tired from trying to break Ben Askren's will. Ben Askren needs to stay inside, use that uppercut that he has developed. I've noticed that Ben Askren has a very good inside uppercut. Use those clinches for however many seconds you can, because boxing really, you can't over the clinch, and you can't really be pulling on the head too much because they will stop you. You know what I mean? That'll actually work against you. If I recall, I believe that's how Logan Paul lost one of his points in one of his boxing matches, from pulling down on the head. So he wants to be able to try to get in there and dirty box the best he can, get a couple of quick clinches, a couple of body shots, and definitely work that uppercut. He wants to make Jake Paul pay for everything Jake Paul does. If he tries to get in and Jake Paul attacks him, but he needs to keep pushing forward, get in and hit Jake Paul hard. That will make the person that is a better boxer, a better striker, think, man, I don't know if I want to throw out too many punches. I don't want to know if I want to keep going like this hard, because when I do, this guy tags me back. He needs to break Jake Paul's will. That is how Ben Askren will win that fight. Now, do I think Ben Askren has the keys and the ability to break Jake Paul's will? On paper, guys, it certainly looks like he does, okay? On paper. I'm not going to say he truly does. I know you guys, a lot of you are Jake Paul fans, and you're going to tell me, you know what, Moto MMA, you are definitely wrong. He does not have the will to break Jake Paul, but it looks like he does on paper. Ben Askren's been hit by some hard hitters. Ben Askren has never really had a history of getting knocked out all the time. I mean, he just doesn't, guys. He was pretty much undefeated. I believe he was undefeated, excuse me, until he went to the UFC. And then he started suffering losses, and honestly, Robbie Lawler put a hell of a beating on him. And I do believe Robbie Lawler would beat Jake Paul in a boxing match, because now that is a guy that is very, 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 very tough and would get his way inside and would do some damage. Robbie Lawler hits hard, guys, and Robbie Lawler had on thinner gloves than what they're wearing in these boxing matches. And I know everybody says, well, they're 10 ounces. Well, 10 ounces, 4 ounces, guys. You're still talking about more padding on that boxing gloves. And I know you say, well, those little ounces don't matter. Trust me, they do. They really, really, really do, guys. I think on paper, Ben has what it takes. Now, will it happen? I do not know, because like I say, if Jake Paul is smart and outbox him, you're only human. You can only get hit so many times. You can only get your bell rung so many times. You can only take so much damage. This could actually end up causing Ben Askren to get knocked out trying to break Jake's will. So there you have it, guys. That is both fighters' keys to victory. I'm going from Ben Askren. Time is running out, guys. We're almost there. I will be watching the fights that night, so if you're going to be on, hit me up, let me know. I'm saying, I'm going to be commentating on them. I'm excited about the fight. I'm excited to see who will actually win. I think this is a very big test for Jake Paul. I think we will see whether or not Jake Paul has what it takes to be a real fighter after this one, because this is a guy that is trying to break his will and that will be really coming at him. All right, guys, if you could remember, again, like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Moto MMA, aka Jason Boss, saying I'm gonna go hop in the pool, and you guys have a nice day.